Hello and welcome to this SAT writing video. In this video, I will do one part of the writing section in full. So that is 1 to 11. So that's about 10 questions. Read this paragraph and passage, do this graph, and then answer and explain why I choose the answers that I do in the questions. So now, as with any writing section, I always recommend that when you do these, you need to at least give it a good read to see what is, the topic about, what is the author trying to assert, or what perspectives are they giving, what is their opinion on the subject matter. These things really matter when you have these questions that ask for the general idea, the main idea, or what sentence best completes the idea of this passage. You have those questions, it will be very worthwhile to give the whole paragraph a good read. So with that said, I will read this very quickly. So the Mongol army takes a rain check. So in the summer of 1242, on the brink of conquering Hungary in Central Europe, the Mongols retreated to Russia suddenly. So the motive for this strange withdrawal is not explained or written, and some historians have speculated or asserted that it is resulting from an instability in Mongol politics, but others claim that a full conquest is not worth it. But a recent study from tree ring data in Eastern and Central Europe by researchers Ulf Bungen and Nicola di Cosmo present a compelling case that changes in weather patterns played an essential role in this very historical event. Okay, so you know from this very small passage that this is about the Mongol invasion of Hungary in Central Europe, and a recent study has found that weather is one of the main causes, could be one of the causes for this sudden retreat. So let's continue reading. The Mongol army, due to its dependence on horses, was very susceptible to weather conditions. So if the weather is good, the horses are good, but the weather is bad, then the horses die. Right. And so through the analysis of trees, these researchers studied the weather patterns at the time, and they concluded that during the years leading up to the invasion and the year of the invasion, the region was, some temperature anomaly. And then for this instance, like look at the graph, you see this temperature change. However, in the year of withdrawal, this trend reversed with precipitation increasing and temperatures dropping very low. So this area was very notorious for flooding due to winter snow. So in the cold, rainy weather, the dirt would have turned to, mushy swamps, which would be very bad if you want to go on horseback. So that's the general idea of the passage. This passage is about, why the Mongols retreated. There's a reason, and that is the weather, and they provide us with this graph that we have to, use to answer the questions. I think that this is a very good question because one, you need to do the graph. The graph is somewhat common in the SAT writing, but it is not difficult, and knowing how to do these graph questions give you an advantage in score because usually the questions only require you to read and understand what the graph is saying. So essentially you get 3 questions for free. Now, let's get to the first question. The first question is, a linking word one. So there's always no change or delete. And then we have nevertheless, but. Now, one is here. So we read the sentence. The motive for this strange withdrawal is not explained in written records. So some historians have asserted that it resulted from this. So the word in question here is so. So do you think the word so here is appropriate? You need to know that so indicates a causal relationship. So A causes B, right? So something here causes these historians to assert, but we clearly see that there is nothing in written records, so the historians have no grounds to assert. Right, so is wrong here because the relationship here is not a causal one, right? And then we need to think logically. if we don't have evidence and we claim something, so what would we usually say? He was not at home, but he swore he was doing work, right? She did not study and complete her homework, but she gained good grades anyway, right? So there is something surprising, right? There is no written record, but they still claim that it resulted from this. So it would be but or nevertheless. However, nevertheless usually starts a sentence, not in the middle of it, and we are left with the answer, which is but. Okay. The second question is one of a grammatical question, right? You just need to choose the right word form. So here, it is here, present. So you need to look at the subject. A recent study of tree-ring data. So you notice the A, it's a study, and therefore it is not present, present, but presents with an S, right? So that's the second question. 3 points. Next, we have this presents a compelling case that unassertive yet powerful changes. So when you have the word yet, it is usually, something opposite in meaning from this powerful. So let's look in the answers. Plain, compliant, or modest. So what is the opposite of powerful that is in here? Is it plain or compliant or modest? I believe that it is modest. 3 points. Next, we have the for question, which is an idea question. This is a very interesting type of question. Right, so it's this. You want to add this sentence to the paragraph to, complete it. So where is it placed best? So you need to read this. So while these explanations may hold some truth, one factor likely played a larger role in the Mongol retreat than has previously been recognized: the weather. So this, introduces a reason and mentions these explanations. So we need to look up to see where these explanations are. So the explanation is here. Some historians have asserted that it resulted from instability in Mongol politics. And, other scholars claim that the invaders simply decided that whatever. And then there's a study that tells us about the weather. Right. And so the best location to place it is between these. So it is here, right? 4, between sentence 4 and sentence 3, because this is the reason, this part is the reason, and this part is the weather, right? And so you need to place it in the middle to transfer the ideas, right? So it is after sentence 3. And where is that? It's after sentence 3. 3 points for you. Now 5. We have these very similar words, synonyms, so we know that we have to either pick one of these, and it is not no change because these questions have the same idea, so never no change if you see something like this. Now, we look at this. Its dependence on expeditious and ambulatory horse cavalry. So you may ask, what is expeditious and ambulatory? Right. But if you don't know the meaning, these two words means it is very cumbersome, very heavy, very, time consuming, expeditious, expedition, very hard and arduous trip, something like that. So you see, it is not fitting with horse at all because, horses, cavalry, very mobile, very fast, quick on its feet, right? Not expeditious or ambulatory or anything. So it is not no change. So you need to pick like quick, mobile, speedy, zippy, super fast and nimble. And you see that C and D is obviously wrong. Why? Because the tone is very formal, and when you use zippy and super fast, it doesn't fit. So it is quick and mobile. So 3 points next. 6. So we have this linking word on the other hand, right? And you see here that one side mentions warm, dry weather, and on the next sentence they say cold weather. So it is, very opposite, and on the other hand is the correct linking word for this instance. So it is no change, and you can see that other options are, for example, with that it is may, and therefore nothing fits, right? Next, we have this, phrasal verb question. Okay, so coordinated for, that's obviously wrong. So it's coordinated with, correlated in. No, that's not in, it's correlated to. Coexisted at, that's also wrong. It's not at, it is with. Now, you have eliminated all the questions. It's no change. Very easy. Which choice accurately depicts the data, right? So this is a graph question, right? It mentions the graph. And you need to read it to see what the passage is talking about first. So you see that from these 1238 to 1241, the region saw, above average temperatures, right? Above average, remember this. And then you read the graph. You see that here we have temperature anomaly. So 0 is the average, obviously. And then there is the year. So you can see that from 1238 to 1241, the line is above this average. So therefore, this is correct. And you check no change. All right, so that's a free question for you. And next is also a graph question. So which is accurate? Now, read that it is before 1237. Summer temperatures were about 0.5 degrees. Notice this. This part is the crucial thing. 0.5 degrees above average. Okay, so you see here that 0.4. So what are the years that it could be above 0.5 above average? See here, that's 1238, maybe 0.5 here, 1239. Only these 2 years, 38 and 39, and you check the answers, and you see there is no 1238, so that leaves us 1239. Very free question. Next, you have this punctuation question, right? So you need to pay attention to the sentence. Now, Buntgen and D. Cosmo's use of tree-ring analysis shows how even minor weather. So you obviously see that there is a comma here that is very out of place, because this is a complete sentence, right? It is not, a phrase or, a relative clause, nothing. So the comma is misplaced, and the correct punctuation is analysis shows how, with no punctuation in between. Right, so you only need to find that, and that is D. Free question. 11, another punctuation question. Let's see. Does not disqualify the possibility of other popular theories. Right, so there is this, what is this called? I forgot. This is a complex sentence, right? This entire sentence is a complex sentence. And this is, I don't know what this clause is called, but, when you have these clauses, these while, or on the other hand, this explanation, while this explanation, but this explanation does not, whatever, it always goes with a comma, not anything else, always a comma. So if you encounter this type of question, this sentence, and it is not a comma, you pick a comma. Always pick a comma. And if it is a comma, then you pick no change. Easy as that. And I have seen this question hundreds of times, and there are some who still fall for this, but I hope you don't, because you have watched this video. And remember that it is always a comma here. Okay? So, the answer is D. Theories, a comma, and it. Right. So that is all of the questions answered in this section. So I am certain that I have did all of this correctly, and we can see the answers here. Now, we have C, B, D, C, B, triple A, B, D, and D. So that's all of it. And you can see that this is difficulty rating here, right? So question 3 is possibly the most difficult question that we have. So what is it? Well, to be honest, I think this is not a level 3 difficult question, but I don't know, to the examiners it might be, because maybe these are too similar and some fall for this, but I don't think that any of this is hard for you at all. I believe that you can do this in 5 minutes if you try. Everyone can do this in 5 minutes. But if you cannot master it right now, try to practice more, and I believe that you will achieve your goals, because succeeding on the SAT is not that hard of the task. You just need to put your mind to it, and I believe that you will gather all the success that you can and ever want. Thanks for watching this video. I will try to make more analysis and answering videos in the future. Thank you.